Hi, my name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy, and here on this channel, we practice flexibility of the mind, body, and spirit. If you would like to know how to stay positive in a negative situation, continue watching. So I have a life update that kind of coincides with this subject very well. I moved, and if you are a subscriber and you've been around for since last week, you know that I hinted at something in my life happening, something really big, something that I've been waiting for a long time, and it was indeed this move. Unfortunately, something happened regarding us moving into this new place. I don't feel comfortable talking about it at this time, but maybe in the future. And the reason I bring this up is because I want to explain that when negative things happen, when it seems like everything's going right, it is not the universe punishing you. It is not God punishing you because things are too good. It actually has to do with your vibration. And what this experience taught me was that even though I received something that I want and need, no matter how long I wanted it for, when I receive that thing, my vibration is still the same. It might rise a little bit because I accomplished a goal, but my problems don't disappear because I got something that I wanted. So if you are in a situation where like you finally achieve a goal or you finally get something that you want, and then something seems to come along to rain on your parade, don't feel like the universe is punishing you or like you deserve it. It's more so your vibration evening out because it rose because you got something that you wanted, but your thoughts and your behaviors, you're still the same person. So you're still perpetuating the same vibration. So your vibration still has to even out. Um, so yeah, I just thought I would say that before I get into the subject. How to stay positive in a negative situation. I think that the first thing that you have to do is feel your emotions. You can't run away from them. You can't try to sweep them under the rug. You have to acknowledge what the situation means to you and what emotions are arising, because the emotions that arise are teaching you what the situation means to you and how it affected you. So if you feel fear, if you feel disappointment, if you feel anxiousness, it's important to acknowledge that, because then you can learn what you're fearful of and what you're anxious about. So the very first thing I would say to do is make sure you feel your emotions. Don't force yourself into feeling better. Don't force yourself into being positive. You have to know what you feel when the situation happens so you can act accordingly. A lot of times when negative things happen in our lives, yes, they can be traumas, and I will get to that, but sometimes they're little things that are connected to our subconscious. They can be little itty bitty events that are actually connected to things that happened when we were kids or something that happened with an ex. So our emotional reaction is kind of bigger than it would be if we were conscious of the connection. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you feel your emotions first. Now, regarding traumas, it's very important to understand that if whatever negative thing happened was a huge life event, for example, someone passing away or being evicted or something that changes the course of your life, it's important to understand that positivity might not come right away. This video does not so much apply to huge life traumas because it's individual to each person. And the rest of this video, I think it could help anyone in any situation, but depending on the life event, it may take longer for a person to be able to access their positive thoughts and their positive emotions because of whatever had happened. Oh no. You can go back to sleep. You can do it. Oh God, you can do it. My baby's not napping anymore. Ever since we moved, he just stopped napping. I'll be back. Sorry about that. I think that I was saying that basically, if you experience a trauma, then if you're a mom, you know you hear like phantom crying after your baby cries. Okay, I'm sorry. So if you experience trauma, it may not, you might not feel positive right away. And positivity may not be an emotion that you can access immediately, but it will come eventually. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel. But this entire video is not so much for people dealing with intense life changes and intense dramas, more so everyday negative situations. So, if we're not dealing with a trauma, this is how you can go about staying positive in a negative situation. First and foremost, after you have taken the time to feel your emotions, feel your anger, feel your frustration, feel whatever you need about the situation, consciously acknowledge that you have taken the time to process whatever negative feelings you have about the situation. So we don't always consciously do this. Whenever we go through certain things, if we're not aware, sometimes we let the situation emotionally like push us backwards and forwards and up and down and the whole emotional roller coaster. So by acknowledging that you have put the work in to really feel whatever this situation brings out of you, you can then acknowledge it and say to yourself, I give myself permission to feel better. I'm definitely not saying that it's going to just happen, like a switch is going to flip and then the situation will be a thing of yesterday. But what you are doing is you're allowing yourself to move forward instead of staying in the same emotional place. I highly encourage doing things that raise your vibration, such as meditating, talking to a good friend, watching a movie, doing things that allow you to feel good, even if it's just for that moment. The thing about going through negative situations is that the emotions are temporary. So emotions come and emotions go. You can feel happy one moment and then think about the situation, and then your vibration can be pulled all the way down because all of a sudden you are thinking about all the things that could go wrong and you become very fearful of all the things that the negative situation brings out of you. So in order to stay positive in the situation, you want to hang on to the happier thoughts that you have. Like I just mentioned, emotions are temporary. So when you go through something negative, it's not going to be the main thing on your mind after a certain point. Like let's say like 2 days go by, you're going to start evolving and getting through it, but it will still be on your mind every once in a while. So what you want to do is when positive thoughts come, consciously enjoy those thoughts. Law of attraction states that whatever we think about, we get more of. So if we obsess over the negative situation, and if we obsess over how it makes us feel, we are attracting more negative thoughts, more anxious thoughts, more fearful thoughts. So when you start to have positive thoughts, especially if you're a person who is usually positive, those positive thoughts will feel more in alignment with yourself. So hang on to those positive thoughts and encourage them and enjoy them. Don't push them away out of, I do this a lot. So don't push your positive thoughts away out of some guilt of feeling good, out of guilt of feeling good because something negative is going on in your life. You are entitled to your happiness no matter what is going on, and your happiness is better for your health. So whenever you feel good emotions in the midst of a storm, hold on to that for as long as you can. It's okay if the negative thoughts come back, but acknowledge the positive ones, appreciate them, and just try to bask in how good they make you feel. So if you're going through a negative situation and you find yourself not really able to feel whatever it makes you feel and move on, you must acknowledge that you are choosing to wallow. Like I said, this does not apply to huge life traumas, not at all. I'm just talking about everyday negative situations that could happen. For example, Like, let's say you get into a car accident, but you didn't get hurt, but your car is totaled, or you don't have, or your car is totaled, but you have insurance to fix it. So there aren't really any negative repercussions. It was just something inconvenient that happened. I'm talking about situations like that. So let's say that you can't really seem to move forward from the event, and you can't tell yourself, hey, I need to start letting myself feel different emotions aside from the frustration that happened from this negative event. I find that acknowledging that you're wallowing in your feelings actually helps a lot, because hey, sometimes it feels good to wallow, especially like, you know, when you've been dating someone for like 4 weeks. It wasn't a long relationship at all, but you broke up and it was still a relationship, so you still want to be frustrated and sad about it. So stuff like that, sometimes you just want to wallow in it. Sometimes you just want to listen to sad music and watch bad movies and feel it, and that is okay. But you have to acknowledge that you're choosing to wallow. It's important to understand that after a certain point, the emotions that we feel, to a very fundamental level, we are choosing to feel them. Because of our perspective, we are choosing to feel those emotions. And it makes life so much easier to understand that because of our perspective, we're choosing to feel something, as opposed to we feel something because we think we deserve it. Understand that staying positive in a negative situation can be difficult, but if you understand that emotions come in waves, and that when you have a positive thought, or, you know, have fun raising your vibration, when you hold on to those good feelings in the midst of a negative situation, every time you come back to the negative situation, every time you think about it, the pain and the negative feelings behind that situation diminish and they start to evaporate. But that only happens if you allow yourself to get back into alignment with the person you are. Any type of negative situation that happens, if it feels negative because it's not in alignment. So by working back to happiness, working on getting back into alignment, we help ourselves overcome the negative situation and, you know, let it teach us, let it become a part of our story, as opposed to becoming this thing that always ruins our mood, ruins our day, that we end up carrying with us. And instead, we just let it go. But it is a process. And staying positive in the process often does help us feel better quicker. So yes, that is all I have for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was super duper fun to make. I adore you for being here and sticking around till the end. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up so people know that it is valuable and that they should click on it. If you would like me to expand on anything that I said, just leave a comment down below and I'd be happy to. And last but not least, please make sure that you are subscribed so you can see the next video. I will talk to you next time. Bye!